Ah, that's a kotte kadabu.
Kotte kadabu.
Open that kotte fashioned of jackfruit leaves, and that's going to almost open like a flower. A jackfruit leaf flower encasing within itself that steamed hot kadabu. This is the red puffed rice, and this rice is tossed in their proprietary podi and then topped with some of that grated coconut, that fresh grated coconut, and plenty of peanuts that I can see in this mandaki upkari. That banana has now joined that kesari baat party.
Yes.
That's being stirred up in that kadai. Hi folks, this is Kripalamana, Gourmet on the Road, and you're watching Food Lovers TV. I hope you're doing well. The culinary landscape in Bengaluru is dominated by different rooms or eating houses where locals go for their share of tindi, as the traditional snacks are referred to here in Bengaluru. Whether it's the idli, dosa, vade, khara baat, kesari baat, these are the sort of traditional eats that are available in most of these well-established eateries, many of which go back decades and some even over half a century. But over the last couple of years, one also sees the emergence of new eateries that are serving up traditional fare but with a slight difference in order to carve out an identity, a unique niche for themselves. And this evening, we are going to one such eatery that's been around only for a couple of years or so, but seems to have an interesting menu on offer. Well, we're in Banshankari in South Bengaluru, and right next to Domino's, serving American style fast food, you have Jagli Tindi that serves traditional snacks of the land. Let's take a look. Namaskara.
Namaste. Namaste.
You are Suhas.
Yes, I'm Suhas.
And Raksha.
Raksha.
You're the one who reached out to us on Instagram.
Yeah. You know, I'm double graduate and she's a graduate. So we had a business plan of giving an authentic food for the people.
Where are you from?
We are from Mangalore.
You're from
Kundapura. Kundapura. Yeah.
All right. So you wanted to bring the food of your land.
Yes, yes.
And serve it in Bengaluru.
Bengaluru. Yes, exactly.
Right? And what does the name Jagli mean?
Jagli means usually there is an outside sitting for people. Usually they take time pass for people, and it is a katte. So this northern katte is called Jagli.
Jagli katte.
Yes.
So adike Jagli Tindi.
Tindi anta madiradu. Yes, exactly.
And what are some of the dishes that are popular here?
Kotte kadabu, polkotte, Jagli masale, mandaki upkari, kesari baat, banana kesari baat especially, which is made up only pure ghee, Nandini ghee.
Okay. Buns is there.
The Jagli Tindi concept.
Forgotten items.
Forgotten items.
Yes, yes.
This weekends we prepare banana sihi kadabu.
Banana sihi
kadabu. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Avrekai nuchinu.
Avrekai nuchinu.
is there.
Weekends we make it.
So the idea is to kind of give something which is new but traditional.
Yes, traditional.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's all rooted in dishes that you've probably been tasting growing up.
Yes, yes. Aji recipes or grandmother Aji do.
Bring back all those.
We're trying to revive the grandmother's culinary traditions here at Jagli Tindi.
Yes.
You are an engineer by background, and you are also
MBA Finance.
MBA Finance.
Yeah.
So where you guys are working with some of the multinational companies.
Yes, yes.
And then suddenly one fine day you say, okay, fine, let's do kotte kadabu and the Jagli masala dosa.
Yes.
Was that a tough decision to take?
It was ಕಷ್ಟ ಅನ್ಸಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಪ್ಯಾಷನೇಟ್ ಇಂದ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಪ್ಯಾಷನೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿ 6 monthsಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಇದನ್ನ.
Okay, so you got married within 6 months.
6 months. Within 6 months we established Jagli Tindi.
So So did you guys know each other before?
Love marriage.
Love marriage.
Love marriage.
Yeah, yes.
So is this something that you were thinking of?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So soon as you got married, you started working on Jagli
Jagli
Tindi.
Tindi.
So in a manner of speaking, this is your baby.
Yeah, this is baby.
Jagli Tindi is your first baby.
Yes, first baby.
Fantastic.
My grandfather was running a hotel called Shanti Bhavan.
Shanti Bhavan.
Shanti Bhavan in Ryan Circle.
And is that?
So, yes, that is my grandfather. It is his hotel's clock.
Yeah?
Yeah. All his blessings.
And even the chairs.
Even the chairs are there. These
From
are all,
Shanti Bhavan.
then all my fathers and his brothers, they went into catering and other business.
Oh,
So I started continuing the legacy now.
So in a way, you're taking forward your grandfather's
Grandfather's,
legacy
yes. Legacy, yes.
from Shanti Bhavan,
Shanti Bhavan. Shanti
which
Bhavan.
closed in 1993.
1993.
So when you talk about grandmother's recipes and things like that, a lot of it is rooted in tradition. How do you ensure that you bring back those flavors?
ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕಡುಬನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಲೋಟ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Okay.
ಅದಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕಡುಬು, ಆ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಎಲೆನೆ ಹಲಸಿನ ಎಲೆಲ್ಲೇ ಹಾಕಿ
Jackfruit leaf ನಲ್ಲಿ
ಜಾಕ್ರೂಟ್ ಲೀಫ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡೋದು. ಅಥೆಂಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವೋ, ಕೊಬ್ಬರಿ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮಂಡಕ್ಕಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಐಟಮ್ಸು ಕುಂದಾಪುರದಿಂದನೇ ಬರೋದು.
So I noticed that you're doing a lot more talking about the food
Yes.
as opposed to Raksha. So are you more involved in the food?
Yes.
Everything. I'm just managing.
So you're managing the cash, you're managing the finances. Alright, so you're the one in the kitchen.
Yes, I'm in the kitchen.
You spoke about the Jagli Masala Dosa.
Yeah.
That's your recipe.
That's my
How did you hit
recipe.
upon this recipe?
ಸೊ 99 ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದೋಸಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಂದು ಒಂದು ಯಾವ್ದಾನ ಒಂದು ವೆರೈಟಿ ಇರಲಿ, ನಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಯಾವ್ದಾನ ಬರಲಿ. ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೊಡೋಣ ಜನರಿಗೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಹೆಲ್ದಿ.
We don't use dalda for any of the items, and we don't use artificial colors. So ಆ ಮೋಟೋ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡೋಣ, ಸರ್ವ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಅಂತ.
So it's basically like ನಮ್ಮ ಅಜ್ಜಿ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿನ್ನುವಾಗ ಆ ಥರ ನಿಮ್ಮದು objective.
ಎಸ್.
So that is the objective. As they say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Yes.
We'll certainly get to the table, but I think before that,
Yeah.
we'd like to make a pit stop at the kitchen and watch the coming together of the Jagli Masala Dosa. Can we?
Please come. This is ghee.
Ghee.
Nandini ghee. This is chutney pudi, alugade, raw onions, and ghee. This is raw ghee.
So how much ghee goes into this?
Almost 500 to 600 grams of ghee goes. Adali you will be getting almost around 20-25 dosas.
So there's a fair bit of ghee of tuppa that's going into that alugade palya with the chutney podi.
Yes.
So what is in the chutney podi?
Ade main secret chutney pudi.
So that's your
Yes, Jagli Masala Dosa.
Jagli Masala Dosa.
Yes.
Fantastic. This is the chutney podi.
Yeah, this is a chutney pudi.
That goes into that alugade palya.
Yes.
There's definitely the lentils, the red chili powder. There's also a bit of nuttiness that I get from some peanuts that probably go in. The masala is toasted nicely.
Yeah.
So all the spices that go into it.
Yes. That is the secret.
That is the secret. Certainly a dish that I'm looking forward to tasting when on the table here.
Yes. This is the kolkote.
The kolkote, okay.
This is only uruk dal.
Only urad dal.
Only uruk dal. We have some peppercorns there, chili is there, the ginger is there, and a bit of curry leaves.
And you serve this with the chutney.
Chutney and sagu.
Chutney and sagu. That's the kotte kadabu. Of course, some of the kadabu has spilled out of the kotte.
Yeah.
I think that is the hazard of doing it in a leaf.
Yes.
The old-fashioned way is always a slightly tricky way, but the flavor that the halsin hannu leaf will impart to that kadabu, to that idli, will be something completely
different. Exactly.
Fantastic.
The 15 head cooks have changed. 12 dosa bhattas have changed. But the consistency is still there only because of the experience what I have learned.
So when you got into the trade, you didn't want to just hire cooks. You wanted to know it yourself.
Yes, exactly.
So if it came to a crunch situation, you can literally wield the ladle.
Yes. Completely.
As you are doing right now. What are you making?
Ghee banana kesari bath now.
Ghee balehannu kesari bath.
Yeah.
All your ingredients are here. So
Yes,
that's some
everything.
rava.
Yeah, rava goes in, bit of sugar, dry
sugar,
fruits,
Godambi,
banana.
some
Godambi,
raisins.
draxi, yes.
Draksha and lot of ghee.
Lot of ghee.
Some spices, some cloves,
Yes.
some cardamom.
Yes.
I can smell the aroma of that ghee waft through the air now. And of
Yes.
course the spices will go in to lend the aroma. And the nuts and raisins. Half a kg of rava.
Half a kg of rava. 750 ml of ghee.
So it's more ghee.
More ghee and bit of rava.
So how many portions will this make?
20.
That rava with the dry fruits, with the nuts and the raisin has now combined with that ghee. You
The
can
dry-
smell the toasty notes of the rava and of course the effervescent aroma of the
Oh
tuppa,
my
of
God.
the ghee.
The aroma itself is the motivation for cooking. a bit fast, but
Some water.
yeah, right.
What's also interesting is that the raisins are swelled up as they've taken in all that tuppa, all that ghee.
Ripe bananas.
So you don't want to cook the bananas too much.
No.
You don't want the bananas to disintegrate
Yes,
into that
yes.
kesari bath.
Yes. This is 1:2. So half a rava is 1 kg of sugar.
It's mostly sugar,
Yeah.
then ghee,
Yeah.
then the rava and then the other ingredients.
Yes.
That banana has now joined that kesari bath party
Yes.
that's being stirred up in that kadai.
Badam powder.
I can also smell some pacha karpura.
Yes.
So the badam powder has been infused with some of that edible
Yeah,
camphor.
okay.
You can definitely smell the aroma of that. Not too much though.
Not too much. When you see the consistency, yeah, it is done.
It is done. That balehannu
Yeah.
kesari bath is now ready.
Ready.
I think on that note, let's get to the table here and taste some of the dishes at Jagli Tindi. So we'll do kotte kadbu, we'll do the kol kotte, kesari bath we should definitely do, no? And of course we have to do the Jagli masal dosa. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, mandaki uppari.
Ah, the mandaki uppkari as well. So let's do these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dishes. I think that should make for an enjoyable, slightly heavy snack here at Jagli Tindi. The mandaki.
Yeah, mandaki uppari.
Thank you very much. The food's here, so the mask goes off. And we're making a beginning with the mandaki uppkari. This is not your typical churmuri, this is the red puffed rice. And this rice is tossed in their proprietary podi and then topped with some of that grated coconut, that fresh grated coconut and plenty of peanuts that I can see in this mandaki uppkari. So this is a dry sort of an appetizer. At first it seems quite tame, but then you have the warmth of the podi that slowly but surely takes hold of your palate, and that's what you're really tasting. What I like is that the mandaki or the puffed rice is absolutely light and crunchy. It has none of the sogginess that puffed rice could otherwise have when exposed to air for a while. You have the light puffy crunch of the mandaki and then the nutty crunch of the peanuts. And somewhere in all of that, you also register the moist crunch of the onions and the coconut, the grated coconut. The onion also helps provide a break in the textures with its pungent, moist crunch. This is a sort of dish that you probably share with friends as you wait for your Jagli masal dosa or the kotte kadbu or the kolkatai to be ready. What I would personally like though is a bit more of the onion to help break the monotony of that boiled rice mandaki. I'm going to go for a spoon with plenty of the grated coconut. Try to look for some onions. I can feel the spicy punch of that podi on my tongue. This makes for a fun start to your tindi here or your tiffin here at Jagli Tindi. But also the sort that has me sweating at the back of my head. So my next plate is here, the kotte kadbu. We will keep the mandaki upkari aside for some time as we focus on the kotte kadbu. So this particular location is only about 2 months old. They've had Jagli Tindi for the last couple of years, but they moved to this location only a couple of months ago. What I like is the coziness of this space, and I think the earthy character of the place in the decor here. This of course is traditional food that comes from Kundapur. Both Raksha and her husband hail from Kundapur, and they're trying to bring the food from there. And there's a certain earthiness to the environment that the food is being served in. Right from these wooden tables to this katte or these benches and those chairs that come from Suhas's grandfather's restaurant that opened in Bengaluru nearly half a century ago. On that note, time to get to that kotte kadbu. So basically this is a kadbu that is steamed in a cup that's fashioned of jackfruit leaves. So all that you need to open is to remove those sticks that are holding the leaf together. Open that kotte fashioned of jackfruit leaves, and that's going to almost open like a flower. A jackfruit leaf flower encasing within itself that steamed hot kadbu. There's a certain aroma that you certainly detect which comes from the leaf. The moistness of that batter seeps into the leaf, and as that leaf steams in that steamer, it impregnates that kadbu with some of its aroma. That kadbu is steaming away. There's a hint of tartness from the fermentation and a bit of pastiness from that batter of urad dal and the rice rava that's used in the making of this kotte kadbu. That kadbu is hot, but as I place it in my mouth, I can definitely detect the aroma of that ele, that halsan kai ele, that's wafting through my mouth. Let's taste that now with the chutney. I think we'll begin with that kai chutney, the coconut chutney. There's a fair bit of mint that I detect in that chutney. The chutney though is a trifle cold, which contrasts with the steaming hot texture of that kadbu. Let's taste it now with the second chutney, the tomato chutney. There's a bit of tartness in that chutney that comes from the tomato and perhaps the edge of some tamarind that goes into it. I can also detect a certain nuttiness that perhaps comes from some yellow that I'm told that has also gone into it, some sesame seeds. I'm quite enjoying the flavors of this kempu chutney, the tomato chutney. The other mellow aromatic flavors of the kadbu and the tartness of that chutney. There's also plenty of mustard seeds in that. Can I get some more chutney? Yeah. To me, this chutney, this kempu chutney, the tomato chutney, is certainly the sort that you want to introduce in generous measures to your kadbu, the kotte kadbu. I want to bathe that kadbu in that kempu chutney. It's as tasty as that. The mellow, fragrant texture of that kadbu and the sharp contrast of that kempu chutney with its tart, nutty fervor. Well, I also have a sagu here to taste, which I almost forgot about. So this is a vegetable sagu. I can detect the sweet aroma of that masala, of the spices that have gone into that sagu. I can certainly detect a bit of the clove. But I'm going to return to the truly addictive flavor notes of that kempu chutney when married with that kotte kadbu. So this is quite the family establishment. Your family is here, you have young kids running around. So this is the sort of place that you come, spend a few minutes, enjoy whatever it is that you fancy, whether it's the mandaki upkari or the kotte kadbu, relish it and then leave. Also, the texture of this kadbu is such that it readily breaks down to enable you to reconstitute it into a delicious lump, either with the chutney or that nourishing vegetable sagu.
Jagli masala dosa.
Jagli masala dosa. Your creation.
Yes, my creation.
Well, this is the Jagli masala dosa, a creation of Suhas. It's quite crisp to the touch, and it's so crisp that it's holding its own weight. There's definitely plenty of ghee or tuppa that's also seeping out of that Jagli masala dosa. And encased in that dosa is that aloo-gadde palya. That aloo-gadde palya that's fortified with onions and also their proprietary masala. Well, this certainly doesn't break like a dosa because it's quite thick in the manner that it's come together. When you're going to be tasting a dosa, you sometimes have preconceived mindsets. You want to break through the crispness of the dosa and then get to the palya, savor them individually and also together. But this dosa, the Jagli masala dosa, is a dosa where you taste the dosa and that palya in one bite. So initially you're a bit confused. You don't know whether you're tasting a dosa or you're tasting a quesadilla inspired creation. But as you chew on it and savor it, the various components seem to come together to remind you of the fact that you're tasting a dosa. So you have that tawa roasted crispness of the dosa laden with all that tuppa, and that dosa has a lovely crust. And then you taste the potatoes that have been enlivened with that podi. So this is definitely not a conventional masala dosa. And even that palya has a bit of a crunch. That crunch that comes from the podi and also a moist crunch that comes from the onions. I think let's now taste that Jagli masala dosa with the chutney, with the coconut and mint chutney first. There's definitely plenty of tuppa that's coming through the dosa, and that dosa is roasted in ghee, and also from the tuppa that goes into the making of the podi, that spiced lentil mix. And the tuppa is also quite visible in the impression it leaves on your fingers. There's also a bit of strength to this dosa. So when you break it, you tug at it a bit because you've got two layers of the dosa that's held together with that podi fortified aloo-gadde palya. So you need to tug at it a bit to break it. Let's taste it now with that kempu chutney. That chutney to me is quite the killer. With the tomatoes, I think the nuttiness that comes from some yellow, some sesame, the mustard seeds, a bit of red chili that goes into it. That's a sort of chutney that can lift up any dish. So what's my verdict on the Jagli Tindi masala dosa? Well, if you're looking for a traditional masala dosa, this certainly is not that. But if you're looking to perhaps expand your horizons in terms of where a dosa could go, then this is a sort of dosa that will please you. With its deep roast, that tuppa laden aloo-gadde palya enlivened with that podi. And also because you're tasting two sides of the dosa in one go, it also feels a bit heavy as you bite on it. And as you perhaps feel a bit weighed down by the dosa, that refreshing mintiness of the chutney comes to your aid. Well, next we have the kolokattai that is steamed in a banana leaf. This dumpling of sort, steamed dumpling of sort, is stained on the outside by the banana. So when you see inside, it's slightly lighter, but on the outside, it's tainted by the color of that banana leaf. This certainly feels a lot denser than the kotte kadbu. Denser, slightly more pasty. That's because this is made entirely of the uddina bele or the urad dal. I also bit into some pepper there. I can also bite into the texture of some lentils that have been left whole. Let's go for some of that kempu chutney. So this Kolkata is quite mellow on your palate, barring the occasional tingling sensation that comes from the peppercorns that have been studded into this steamed dumpling. And of course, the bite of the lentils every once in a while. As the chutney is warming up from my first dish to the third or fourth now, you can certainly taste the assertive flavors of that mint and also of that green chili a lot more. So the Kotte Kadbu is more grainy in its texture. This of course is slightly pasty, but both have borrowed from the leaves. The Kotte Kadbu from the Halsanannu ele, the jackfruit leaves, and this from the banana leaf, to not just impart its gentle aroma but also stain its outward appearance. So this is the banana kesari bath that we saw being made in the kitchen by Suhas. You can certainly nose the aroma of that ripe banana even before you've tasted it. That ripe banana completely transforms this kesari bath. I've tasted many a kesari bath, but that sweet ripeness of that banana intermingled with the lush ghee-laden fervor of the rava is what you taste even before you place the spoon in your mouth, and what you also taste long after you finish swallowing that kesari bath. As that kesari bath was being finished, I could also detect the aroma, the fragrant aroma of some pacha karpura or edible camphor that sometimes can get a tad overpowering, especially in an Indian dessert. But I think the ripe flavors of this banana has completely overtaken that of the edible camphor. So you detect a hint of the camphor, but only ever so faintly. Normally when you bite into a raisin in a kesari bath, you can feel the cloying sweetness of that raisin. So out here, the raisin is quite happy, playing a subservient role to the ripe sweetness of the banana. This is a Bale Hannu kesari bath, and it is definitely the banana that rules supreme in this. From the moment the plate is placed before you, to the very first bite, to the very end. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this coffee comes from your father-in-law's with some chicory also?
Yeah, chicory.
80-20. And what's the coffee company called your father's?
Aruna Coffee Works.
Aruna Coffee Works.
60 years old.
60 years old. And where are they located?
Gandhi Bazaar.
Gandhi Bazaar. Aruna Coffee Works. Gandhi Bazaar, 60-year-old coffee that I'm going to be tasting. Not the coffee per se, but the coffee works. Thank you. Strong, slightly bitter, just the way good coffee should be. So all in all, Jagli Tindi comes as a breath of fresh air to Bengaluru's culinary landscape, especially if you're looking to savor some tindi or some tiffin. Beyond the usual idli, uddina vade, etc. I think this is definitely a place that you must check out. Jagli Tindi may be new and the owners learning the ropes of the business as they go along. But let me tell you, in a very hands-on sort of a way, with Suhas working most of the dishes in the kitchen, they're exploring traditions that go way back. They're exploring the traditions of their grandparents, and some of the dishes that you will savor here at this eatery go back to Suhas's grandmom's recipes. That's the sort of tiffin experience you should look forward to savoring here at Jagli Tindi in Banashankari in South Bengaluru. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Gourmet on the Road. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, and happy eating. If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page. You could pledge a nominal sum and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on our Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating!